If you've had a promising B2B conversation go quiet for 3 months and then revive, or watched a deal you thought was close, take another 6 months, you weren't losing the deal. You were inside the normal enterprise sales cycle. Most coaches run a B2C pipeline where 6 weeks is normal, inside a B2B reality where 6 months is fast. That mismatch breaks a lot of promising starts that didn't need to break. Here's the reframe this video is here to deliver. If you've ever had a promising B2B conversation go quiet for 3 months and then revive, or watched a deal you thought was close, take another 6 months to close, you weren't losing the deal. You were inside the normal enterprise sales cycle. The problem is most coaches are running a B2C pipeline, where 6 weeks is normal, inside a B2B reality where 6 months is fast. That mismatch breaks a lot of promising starts. The actual range, 6 to 18 months from qualified first conversation to signed contract. Shorter when a senior sponsor has discretionary budget and can bypass procurement. Longer at enterprise scale with multiple stakeholders and a formal vendor process. And the back end mirrors the front end. Senior level engagements run 6 to 12 sessions over 6 to 12 months. Source: Tandem Coaching Academy, Coaching Industry Statistics 2026. The coach who understands both arcs plans accordingly. B2B isn't a quick sprint at either end. The patience requirement has a rational basis, and the numbers make it explicit. Senior level executive coaching at Fortune 500 companies, $25,000 to $75,000 per engagement. C-suite engagements commonly exceed $100,000. Team coaching programs, $15,000 to $50,000 per multi-session program depending on scope. Source: Tandem Coaching Academy, Coaching Industry Statistics 2026, Synthesizing ICF, HCI Building a Coaching Culture, EMCC and PwC data. A single one B2B deal can exceed a full quarter of B2C revenue. The sales cycle length is proportional to what's being purchased. 3 places where B2B deals stall, and none of them mean the deal is dead. First, internal prioritization. The sponsor likes you but can't get budget approved until Q3. That's a budget cycle, not a rejection. Set a check-in date and move on. Second, committee formation. HR and L&D wants to evaluate alongside the sponsor. Panel interviews, credential checks, methodology review. Slower but navigable. Third, procurement qualification. The vendor questionnaire stage. Module 6.2 is the infrastructure answer to that one. Every step in that calendar is normal. None of them is a signal that the deal is in trouble. Here's what the full arc looks like in calendar form. Month 1, initial sponsor conversation. Month 3, sponsor proposes internally. Month 5, HR and L&D review and credential check. Month 7, scope agreed. Month 9, procurement questionnaire. Month 11, MSA signed. Month 12, engagement starts. 12 months. Not exceptional. Normal. The coach who understood this seeded the next 3 B2B prospects during those 12 months. The coach who didn't panic at month 3 and assumed they'd lost the deal. This changes the Module 5 pipeline math. 2 parameters specifically. Conversion timeline, 6 to 18 months, not B2C velocity. If your pipeline model assumed 30 to 60 days, your B2B forecast is structurally wrong. Deal value, $25,000 to $100,000 or more per one engagement, not per session pricing. Update both assumptions in your Module 5.3 pipeline model when you're modeling B2B revenue. If you don't have B2B prospects seated at multiple stages of an 18-month arc, you have a pipeline shape problem, not a skill problem. Here's the practice step. Pull your current pipeline from Module 5. Flag any B2B prospects. Recalculate expected close dates using a 6 to 18 month window from first conversation. Then look at when you first entered each prospect. If everything was seeded in the same month, the pipeline shape is wrong. B2B requires continuous seeding while you're busy, not when you have gaps. The operator's response to a 6-month sales cycle isn't patience in the passive sense. It's active pipeline management on a different clock. Knowing the landscape and the sales cycle is the strategic picture, but the B2B world is also going to ask you for paperwork, RFPs, master services agreements, certificates of insurance. If you haven't built that infrastructure before the first RFP lands in your inbox, you'll be improvising under pressure. Unit 6.2 builds it now.